So, I've picked myself up this old bench. Picked it up from eBag, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to try to restore this in some shape or fashion. It's pretty old, and I'm not too sure how old it is yet. I haven't done any investigation on it, but I'm just about to take this off. My biggest issue is this, which I have no idea at the moment how to repair, but we'll get onto that later. And then obviously I've got these straps here, which I kind of initially thought they might have been leather, but they look like they're some kind of material. So they obviously were slats going across here, and I think this way as well, and they were weaved in, I would suggest. And then obviously you'd put like a cushion on top, which I would need to obviously make as well. Never done anything like this before. So this is a bit of a challenge for me, but I kind of like challenges. I'm going to do this over a few months, I think. Just going to take my time with it and just see if I can bring this back to some kind of, well, originality. I don't know really at the moment whether I'm going to be rubbing it down. I will try not to rub too much of it down if I can, although, well, after investigation I might need to, I don't know. We'll see, but it looks pretty awesome. So there we go, folks. Let's see how we get on with this bad boy. So my kind of main concern here is this piece, as I mentioned, and there is the other piece that's kind of come out of it. So that's what I'm going to have to try to repair. And the thing is, there's only that piece that is, which fits in there, that is, we're obviously missing that, which is a little bit of a bummer. So we're gonna have to try to make a piece up and then try to get it to look fairly similar if we can. I don't know how we're gonna do that yet. And then also we've got these veneers that have been put on here as well. And obviously this one's gone, this one's missing, this one's missing as well, this one's missing, and that one's missing. So we're going to need to replace the veneers. I think probably best to sort of, from there onwards, we can cut out and maybe try and make some veneers to put in there. And again, try to match those in if we can. So there's a bit of work here. What I've got to try to do is, once I've fixed this or found a piece to put in here, I've got to try and get it slotted in. So I need to really be good to trying to disconnect this, lower this down a bit so I can slot this inside, because it slots in. It slots in there, you can't see. But this sort of slots in and up and slots up. You can see where they've sort of carved the top at the top here and shaved this off so that sort of fits in. This has obviously come off, so that just sits there and there like that. Find some more straps. I'm not too sure again what this material is, but I'm sure that's fairly easy to pick up. Just need to clean all this up, get rid of all these nails, pull out all of this. That's just been in there for years and years. We don't really need any of that. We'll get rid of that. This is definitely going to be interesting, and I've looked on the internet and I can't find anywhere that someone has restored one of these. Tried to sort of get some advice and some help on YouTube and things. Just can't find anything. So a bit of a pain, but I'm gonna have to do this just as like a wing and a prayer. There are a lot of staples and nails in this badger. It's gonna take me ages. So as you can see, I've pulled out kind of quite a lot of these little tacks, is what they're called, improved tacks. Now these, I've no idea how long these have been in here, but there are a load of them. You see them there, look. So obviously I pulled out all the nails, pulled out all the improved tacks and pulled out a load of staples as well. So I'm not too sure what was in first, or if they were both in at the same time, or if like over time like somebody just used tacks first and then came along and changed it and repaired it and then used the staples. I don't know. Oh look, on closer inspection of cleaning this, looks like we've got a little bit of chewing gum that somebody's left there. I wonder if it's still got a bit of taste to it. Oh, there's another bit. Oh, beautiful. Still has a bit of flavour. So I just drilled out all these holes where they connect the woods together, just so that I can get this panel out. So obviously I want this panel out so that I can match it up with the new panel, and then obviously be able to get this panel in as well. So I'm just gonna, that's all I've done, I've just lifted that out there as you can see, and I'll pop that back in. What we'll do is we'll just redowel these, put some old bits of oak in there, and redo that once we finish it. I might sort of do the rest of them just to sort of match it in as well as we go along, but so there it is, that's that popped out. So now we can start making up our missing panel. I picked this old panel up, and I got this, found this on the internet, and it's Georgian oak, which I think this is. I'm not 100% sure, it might just be oak, but it looks very similar, and I'm hoping that we can get the same sort of finish on it. It's got a very similar grain, if you can see there. So I'm hoping once that's sort of finished up, we might be able to replicate this panel. So this is a perfect sort of space. It's a bit thicker though in some areas, so I'm gonna have to try and do something with that without obviously damaging the oldness, because obviously this is quite old as well. It's not so thick this side. Well, we'll work on that and see how we get on. so I've got this, I think, pretty much where I want it. I've just done a test fit and it does fit in there fairly well. So this is sort of just chamfered off just like they did back then. I say it's not perfect, but then I don't think it was perfect back then either. I think that should fit in there quite nicely. It does match up quite well with the other one. There's the other one. So I've just taken a kind of a replica from that, and you can see this one's slightly thicker, but that might just make it a bit more of a snug fit. It should be okay. So as you can see with the old one, on all of them, they've slit them obviously in 2 halves, and they're not slit down the middle, which is very strange. Not too sure what the reason for that is, but I'm going to do the same with this one just so that it matches up a bit better. So slightly off to one side, so I'll just do that now. There we go. Now we're just going to glue them back together. So I've just drawn on here with a bit of pencil as to what I think was on here before. I think it was something similar to this, I would suggest. So I've just sort of just penciled that on, just really just to give an indication as to where I'm going to be going with the new veneers. Because I'm obviously taking this one off. Also looking down here, there's a lot of these are all just broken away, coming off, as you see. So I think it's best just to replace all the veneers if I can, and then I've got to try and make this shape at the top for all of them. one new veneered panel. Happy days.
Hey, whoa.
So as you probably gathered, this is not kind of my normal type of project. I've done a couple of small restorations before, but nothing on this grand scale. I'm pretty chuffed so far with my first panel, and we've obviously had to mix it up there. I think that's kind of pretty much how it was when it was first made, or thereabouts anyway. Yeah, I mean it's not too bad actually. I'm fairly pleased with it once we sort of stained it up a bit. And what I am going to do is I'm going to put a bit of dye on this, just to sort of like, I know I wanted it lighter earlier on, but I don't want it as dark as it was, but I want it darker than this. So I'm going to put a bit of sort of stain on that, and then I'm going to go over it with probably a bit of sort of oil or Fiddy's wax or something like that. That's Fiddy's, not Fiddy. So I've got another 5 of these to put on, and obviously we've got our new panel as well. I'll just get that. So this was the missing panel that we had, well, it was broken, and we've got half of it, or 3/4 of it. But I thought it was silly to sort of try and patch that in, so I made a completely new panel. It's from a very similar type of wood, and I think, again, once it's sort of dyed and stained, I'm hoping it's going to be a fairly decent match. It's obviously not going to be the same, but it was the closest that I could get. But I'm pretty sort of pleased with that as well. So, you know, it's not too bad, not too bad. So this could be a fairly longish project. I don't know if it's going to be 2 halves or not, because I said a lot of work in here. There's a lot of detail going into this, and time, as you can probably imagine. So I'll try and get it into one video, not too sure yet, but and I don't want to bore you to death with me just kind of like doing bits like sanding and cutting things out and stuff. So maybe I'll try and condense it and get it into one video. Don't know yet, but you know already, because it's already up and you're watching me. But anyway, I'll stop waffling and get on with the project.